Welcome to another Demarcation Media Mega Construx review. Today we are going to be taking a look at the 20th pack Carter versus the Halo Heroes Carter. So before we kind of look closer at them side by side, let's go ahead and take a look at each one separately. Here he is, the infamous Halo Heroes Carter, and he is a pretty cool figure if I do say so myself. So he's armed with a DMR, an old style DMR with the handguard. This is not an exclusive weapon. We see it in the blue team pack, I think, as well as on Spartan and Grant from Halo Heroes. So not exclusive, but it is a pretty nice weapon. Then Carter himself. Okay, so my dude is been a little beat up in his lifetime. So his shoulder print is a bit chipped away. But we're not going to factor that into whether this is a better figure or not, because theoretically that would be a whole print. But he's got kind of a silver wash going on. You've got the visor up there, a little bit of red. You've got a stripe on his lower leg that wraps around, as well as a stripe up here that kind of wraps around to the back. Not really much to see around the back other than some little silver dry brushes, and then the chest is all printed up, as well as the groin armor just on the front, it looks like. So pretty good. Overall he's a pretty solid looking figure. He looks cool. He's a pretty accurate representation of the in-game character, but he's also ridiculously expensive, so getting a hold of him is a struggle. Here is the 20th pack Carter. And right away you see he has a new style DMR, no paint. I do like these pieces though, so that's a nice plus. He has the arm print. You can see it'd be the same as the Heroes Carter. He has the stripe on the leg, but he is lacking the stripe on the lower leg here. It's just plain silver. The chest is all painted. All the detail is here. The front of the groin armor. Nothing around the back like the other dude. And then the head is done very well. The visor pops a lot more on this one because it's a more orange gold. And I really like that. I love how you just look at him and the visor just pops out at you. He's got the little bit of red up here. So he's pretty comparable. There is no silver wash though. So he is a little bit more clean, a little bit more crisp, and it just doesn't look like he's been through a battle. But that visor is nice. Here they are side by side, and you can tell right away the Heroes Carter is just more dulled down. The blue is dulled down because of the silver wash. The visor doesn't pop as much. And you know what's funny? He's actually shorter. We'll talk about that in just a second, though. There's a side-by-side of their weapons. Not much of a comparison. So the new Carter is actually taller, and they pulled a Chief on us, and I'll go way more into detail about this strange occurrence when Every Infinite Chief Volume 2 comes out. But Mega has this thing where they take heads, and they use the same mold, but they somehow change the neck joint so that there's more range of motion. So that's Carter, the Heroes Carter, looking up as far as he can go. And that is the 20th pack Carter looking up as far as he can go. So they've actually changed the peg, and the peg hole. And just to prove that it is the peg hole, we're going to go ahead and swap the heads. And look, it's the same, but if we pop this one on, it still sits up a little higher, and he can look up higher. Very interesting. Very, very interesting. And now I'm curious, because we got a Commando in the Last Man Standing helmet. So I'm going to go and grab him and see which version of the head he has. Alrighty, so I've got Green Carter here, and let's go ahead and see. It's a little hard to tell because he's got a different. He's got a different chest plate. So let's see. It looks like he's got the old one. So I wonder if they introduced this new mold just like it just came out in the 20th pack, and I hope that's the one we're going to see with the Falcon. So that's really interesting, and that is not something I expected to factor in this comparison. So we'll look at this side. You can see, again, the shoulder armors would be pretty much identical. I don't think there's really any difference there. And then the legs. Heroes Carter has a much thicker stripe. I'm not sure which is more accurate, but just looking at the figures, I think they both work perfectly fine. The missing stripe on the lower leg is a bit of a bummer. I'm not sure why they omitted that. But the rest of the detail is pretty much the same. The chest pieces, everything, and the heads. So I'm looking at both of them, and Heroes Carter definitely has the darker, more gritty look because of the wash, but the wash and the stripe are really the only things he's got going for him that makes him a little better than this guy. The visor on this one pops a lot more and just looks better. I mean, look at the heads side by side. This visor gets a little bit lost because he's got lighter gray that blends with the blue, that blends with the kind of lighter gold, and then the wash over the whole thing just kind of makes it all blend together. So it's not that it looks bad, it's just that looking at this guy, his visor just works. Just look at that. It just works. It looks so nice. That is one of the nicest looking Spartan visors I have seen. And then, on top of that, his head can move more. I mean, it's hard to go wrong with that. And he's just taller. Like, that actually gives him a lot more height. So let me make sure these guys are standing straight. He's standing straight. Make sure they're kind of looking straight. Like so. It really makes him taller. So, honestly, I don't know. It's pretty dead even. So, what is the bottom line here? Which of these guys really is just the better figure? I can't believe I'm saying this, but I honestly think the 20th pack figure might be the better Carter. Yes, he's a little bit more clean. He's lacking the wash and he's lacking the stripe on the leg. But the head changes everything. Not only does it pose more, it has the best looking visor. And it just, this shade of blue, the blues are different, by the way. The newer one is a little bit lighter and a little bit more greenish. And I think it looks really nice. It's a very, very clean color. Yeah, I think the 20th pack one, I gotta say, is a little better just overall. As a whole figure, he just works better. And I'm sure some of you will disagree with me, but look at that head. Just look. The Heroes Carter just looks a bit more messy. Like, overall, the wash makes him look a little bit more messy. This guy is just clean and done well. Excuse me. Which one should you buy? That's the question. If you want a Carter, which Carter should you add to your collection? I'm going to say no to the Heroes version right away because finding him will put you back about anywhere between $80 to $150 depending on who you get it from. You can get lucky. I got lucky. I got mine for $7. There are still some nice people out there who might sell it to you for, not making you go bankrupt. But overall, he is really not worth hunting down. Then we have the 20th Carter, who, like I said, I really do think he is overall the better figure. But the 20th pack has been a disaster, and people have not really been able to get their hands on it for a very good price. So if you just want a Carter to add to your collection, That's probably not the way to go about it. If you want just the whole pack and you manage to find the whole pack, then fantastic. You have a great version of Carter in your collection now. But if you just want Carter, if you're trying to complete Noble Team, the 20th pack is also not the way to go about it. Now, a lot of you probably know what I'm getting at here. The Falcon. The Falcon is coming. And in the Falcon is Carter and Cat and June and all of Noble Team done up in Heroes style, or maybe even better. We'll see once the set comes out. And based on the way they did Carter here, most likely they're going to use the new head, which means more articulation. And the way they did the visor here too means most likely they will do the same thing and we will get another fantastic visor print. So not only will this guy be blown out of the water because the Falcon version is going to have everything, including that stripe here, but this guy will get blown out of the water too because it'll use, the Falcon version will use pretty much him as a base with just extra detail. So, bottom line, this guy is a little bit better in my opinion, but neither of them are the Carter you should go for, and you should wait for the Falcon, because the Falcon is going to... I really, really hope Mega gets this release correct and people are able to get this Falcon, because this Falcon is one of the most important sets in a while. All of Noble Team in one set? Don't mess this up, Mega. Don't mess this up. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and consider subscribing, and I'll see you next time.